Welcome to Gear Overload. I'm Anthony, and we have it, the PS5 pricing. Sony had an event today, and this event was to announce a little bit about games, to show off some games, and then they also put the price of the PlayStation 5 in there as well. They also talked a little bit about, PlayStation Plus, which I think is going to eventually evolve to be more of a competitor to Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass eventually, but I think Sony's still trying to organize that out. Just my take on it. But first, let's switch over and let's take a look at what happened here. So the PlayStation 5 launches, and it's gonna be launching in November here. So we'll get to the dates here in a second. But the digital version is $399. Now that is a very good price, I think, overall. I know I had mentioned that I could see it going down as low as $350 in one of my last videos with the Xbox, but they did $400 and then or $399 and then $499 for PS5 with the Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive. So the disc drive is basically costing you an extra $100. And here's the prices they have also in other currencies, so in other countries as well, and a little bit of layout there. And it goes through some of the stuff here. The new games that were announced: the PS5 Showcase, Final Fantasy, Hogwarts Legacy, a new God of War title. Those are probably, I think these was it Spider-Man was in there also. I think that's a pretty big one. So I think it was all interesting. All look pretty good games. It's gonna be hard for to tell unless I want to go and buy a PS5 to really see what the draw distances are and everything that's going to be released with these games and how well they run. It's unlike Xbox, right? These are the digital version and the non-digital version, the one with the disc, have the same specs in each of these consoles. So you don't have that. We have to. A developer has to develop for not for two consoles. It's just one. Time will tell to see if they can get better optimizations and maybe meet up and get good frame rates at 4K, and that's going to be as games are released, and probably even I guess some developers maybe have already been working on this a while, but some that haven't will probably take a little bit of time, maybe even have some updates. Now it's going to be interesting for me, the split of the prices or split of the consoles sold between digital and non-digital, or digital and disc. So I really think that Sony's going to sell more discless systems based upon the price alone, and the disc systems are going to be, it's on the way out, phasing on the way out. Now, if you are somebody that likes, buys 4K Blu-rays like I do, the disc version is very attractive for that reason. Now, let's say I'm going to buy an Xbox Series X. I could see myself getting the PS5 digital now as a, second console, and not fretting as much as, hey, well, I already have one with a disc. Do I really need, I don't really need the disc this time. Or if you're a person that likes to buy the disc, a PS5, that may help it sell as well for the disc version. But that discless version price is really attractive for this. Now they're going to make that up on the games, right, through the store, because that's really the only way where you can get them. But I think it's a transition, right? PC wise gaming, you're mostly digital right now. You don't, not many discs are sold there, and they're doing the same thing with consoles. And Sony's incentivizing you quite a bit to go that route, giving you $100 off basically in that console. And so a little bit here, they tell the price. And here's the date. We got November 12th and November 19th for the release dates of these consoles. So the Xbox release is November 10th, and then we have November 12th for US, Japan, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea. And the rest of the world is November 19th. Yeah, it's kind of interesting they're doing two separate launch dates, but I'm sure that they have their reasons for it. And it's better than the slow rollout Microsoft does when they come out with a new piece of software and say it's only for the U.S. and Canada and stuff, right? There, and in here too, they talk about a little bit about the specs, so the ray tracing, integrated graphics. They really kind of pushed a lot of that in their release. If you want to see some gameplay or some, I should say, trailer releases feel free to go and watch the Sony video. I think that that's really kind of showed some of the stuff there. Now, take it with a grain of salt if it's like a trailer of a video game and not the actual gameplay, because it's not going to be the same quality, right, that you're going to be expecting in the game, and you don't know how if things will change, etc. But yeah, the Spider-Man title, the Call of Duty, Black Ops, Cold War, Demon Souls will all launch there, and the worldwide studio titles will be priced at $49.99 to $69.99 US. So that is interesting where the base price is for these games. Now, going through, I don't know where Xbox is, but Xbox has been pushing this Game Pass a lot, and maybe that's going to be a better option for most people. But games are probably going to go up a little bit in price here. It seems that way, and if Sony's taking a cut as well, trying to, you're going to have probably both these consoles at maybe a little bit of a loss. I don't know all the bill of goods to see how much it is, but with this, they could easily, try to and will probably make it back in that digital store. So there's that. They talk a little bit about the DualSense controller. The standalone is $70 here, $69.99. You got the 3D Pulse audio headset. There's $100. HD camera, which is another $60. Media remote is another $30, and the DualSense charging station is another $30. So there's a lot of money here to be dropped as well. I know Xbox has made it so a lot of the accessories are backwards compatible. I can't remember how much of the Sony one is backwards compatible as well. I'm more interested in the price today. I'm just going through this blog a little bit as well. Here's some of the PS5 Launch Day games. So they said Demon Souls, Marvel, Spider-Man, and they give the prices there. So it looks like we have $70 for the first couple. The first one is pre-installed on the PS5, and then you have, I guess the Marvel Spider-Man is only $50. That's actually not too bad. The Ultimate Edition is $70, and then you have, what is it, Sackboy: A Big Adventure. That's gonna be $60. So they do range, and maybe the digital will have more sales or have different items here going forward that incentivize you to buy. And who knows what PlayStation Plus is as well. I'll touch on that a little bit. They mentioned a little bit some of the games, PS4 games coming through PlayStation Plus for the PS5, I believe, to play. And if that happens, that can be incentivizing to go that route there for the PlayStation Plus. And hopefully Sony gets something where they can put a lot more of their games on it, have the first party games there as well, like Microsoft. And let's say you do get both consoles, or you get one and you have the Xbox Game Pass and you can play through xCloud, right? There's an option right there. Oh, and then what if Microsoft put the xCloud app on the PlayStation? Oh, mind blowing. Who knows? But there's another way to play games. Where does that put Stadia? That's my next question. And who knows what Sony might even do for the streaming side of things. But you have the console specifications. This has been out there for a while. You have Zen 2 cores, 8 cores, 16 threads, up to 3.5 boost. This is a RDNA 2 based graphics engine with ray tracing acceleration, and its variable frequencies up to 2.23 gigahertz. So who knows what the AMD graphics card will do, but if this can be clocked at 2.23, I hope to get over 2 gigahertz then, at least for a desktop model. 16 gigs of RAM for the system RAM. That's for the entire system, graphics and CPU. This SSD, I cannot wait to see somebody really put out or really test out this SSD. 825 gigs, but it's supposed to be just amazing fast from what Mark Cerny said, and I'm really excited to see that. You got your optical drive if you're getting the disc version. PS5 game disc are up to 100 gigs. Yeah, I think that some games might not fit on there. You have 4K support for 120 hertz TVs, 8K TVs, variable refresh rate with the HDMI 2.1 standard. So that's and I'm getting a monitor here later this year that will have that 2.1 HDMI spec. I'm really interested to test that out. I'd love to have a TV that also had that, but man, there's a lot of things coming out this fall and winter that there's a lot of stuff to spend money on, and it can't go to everything. So I have other things to, I have to take care of as well. But the weight, 4.5 versus kilograms versus 3.9. It's a little bit of weight savings there without the disc. They have approximate heights here in millimeters, and they said the digital edition is 340 watts, and then the disc version is 350. So that drive, yeah, that's about right. If that drive's going full power, probably about 10 watts there. Maybe that's a little generous, but they have a Type A port and a Type C port, and they also have Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.1, and it's also gigabit. So that's one thing the Xbox doesn't have is gigabit, but or Wi-Fi 6, I should say. It does have gigabit. My bad on that. It does have. The Xbox doesn't have Wi-Fi 6. It has Wi-Fi 5. Now there's some benefits to Wi-Fi 6. However, at this time, there's just not many people that are having those routers installed. Devices are still just coming out with it. It would have been nice if Microsoft would have included it. Either way, I think it's just the Sony is an added benefit if you have it. If you don't, it doesn't really matter. And the console's still going to work either way if you have both consoles are going to work on wireless if you want anyway. So it doesn't really affect me. Maybe that's why I don't care as much, because either console I get, I have a wire. I wired my whole house, so I have that backbone throughout my entire house. The DualSense shock controller, and that's about it. It has a battery. If you want to look through that, I'll keep this up for a second. You can pause it and take a look. But here's the PlayStation 5 page launching November 12th. They kind of have some games they're showing off. Let's see. Let's trying to see if they had some of the stuff. Just some of the clarity here, the shadows, the reflections here look pretty good. It seems like a ray tracing now is starting to really come into form after it's been out for a little bit, and it seems more like a second generation here. But yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are on the whole ray tracing thing. Play the console here. Looks at okay, so there's a media remote. Some of the stuff looks pretty good. Ultra high speed. I mean, a lot of this stuff. Both these consoles HDR. I'm just going through stuff, just spouting it here and there. Oh man, I mean, overall, my thoughts are is both these consoles are really really attractive. The $399 price point I think was great for the digital version. Sony did nail put it at a good price point. The $499. So if you're gonna spend $400 or $500, you're looking at both Xbox Series X or the Sony one with a disc. If you don't care about that disc, you're jumping to probably the $399 version of Sony. And then the $499 Xbox. Now you're gonna say, is there $100 difference there? Is it worth it? Now there's gonna be a lot of people that come around and just do this. I got $300 to spend. It looks like I have to get the Series S. So that's the way a lot of purchases are going to happen. Not everyone is going to be an enthusiast or into, oh, here's a spec difference. They're going to be looking at a price point and what satisfies that price point. So if let's say you're a kid and your parents are willing to spend $400, you got that. If they're only willing to spend $300, you know what you're going to go for there. So I think that's where maybe some competition is going to be. Overall, if you want a disc version, you're going for the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5 disc version. So that's going to be basically your choices for this. So both are going to have for some ray tracing. They're going to be Zen 2 based, RDNA 2 based. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these compare overall, especially depending upon how studios really go through and optimize and make games better and run better. So let me know what your thoughts are. I'm really excited about this console. I don't know which one I would buy right now. kind of make that decision, because I guess pre-orders, by the way, pre-orders, I saw on a Twitter tweet someplace from Sony that they are going to be available at retailers as early as tomorrow. So Microsoft's pre-orders don't go up until the 22nd. Sony had it ready to go for tomorrow at some retailers. So if you want it, go pre-order it. These will be selling out fast. Both consoles will. The stock in them will be limited probably through Christmas. So as they come in, as stores gets them, they'll be selling out probably as fast as they come in. And that's just the way consoles, early console generations usually are. I don't know if it's going to be too much indicative of how console sales are doing until we get in and there's good supply on both sides, that we can kind of see how sales are going month after month after month. But let me know in the comments below what you think. I don't think that this really blows Xbox out of the water. I don't think Xbox really blows Sony out of the water in pricing or anything else. I think both are fulfilling a need in each area at different price points, that if you want to spend an extra $100 over the Xbox Series S, you can get that. And then if you want to have a disc version, you're choosing between the two at $500. And really, it's going to come down to some games, and who knows what Microsoft could do. Microsoft could buy more studios as well. And if you're somebody that just wants something to plug it in and it just works, you don't have to maybe tinker with drivers or getting the computer to cooperate or the game's crashing. The consoles is a way to go for that, and we'll see where it all ends up. So thank you guys for watching, and leave your comments below. I'm interested to see what you guys think of this console, the PS5 here, the pricing, and the release date. It's going to be a fun November with everything being released, and I will really enjoy your comments below. And until next time, I do want to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you for helping this channel grow and helping support this channel. I really appreciate it. And until next time, God bless, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.